Hello. So here I am with one Putnam question of year 2022, question number A5. So this is a puzzle. You can say Alice and Bob play a game on a board consisting of one row of 2022 consecutive squares. They take turns placing tiles that cover two adjacent squares, with Alice going first. Okay. By rule, a tile must not cover a square that is already covered by another tile. Alright. The game ends when no tile can be placed according to this rule. Ali's goal is to maximize the number of uncovered squares when the game ends. Bob's goal is to minimize it. What is the greatest number of uncovered squares that Alice can ensure at the end of the game, no matter how Bob plays? So this is the question, and I have added two parts. What happens if Bob plays first? Here it is mentioned that with Alice going first, that is, the first turn is of Alice. But what will happen if the first turn is of Bob? And also, what happens if tiles cover three adjacent squares instead of two? Here it is written that they take turns placing tiles that cover two adjacent squares. So if in spite of 2 it is 3, then what will be the change in the answer? So give this question a try, and once you are ready, continue the video. So first of all, let's think of a random case where Bob's strategy is to place tiles just next to the tiles placed by the Alice. Like you can see here, as Alice have placed 2 and 3, then Bob will occupy 4 and 5. Here 3 and 4, then Bob will occupy 5 and 6. Currently Bob's strategy is fixed. We will change only the Alice strategy to place the tiles. Okay. So Bob's strategy is fixed. This is just a random case for understanding. So Alice's strategy is to place tiles after leaving some voids in beginning. Means uncovered squares. Here voids is uncovered squares. So as Alice starts from 1 to and going to 2022, it can leave one void, or it can leave two void, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So we are looking into the cases by assuming that Bob's strategy is fixed. Okay. So in first case, leaving one void, A will placed, the A is for Alice. A placed at second and third box, B placed at fourth and fifth box. Then again, leaving the sixth box, A will placed at 7 and 8, B will place as 9 and 10. So here we can see that out of 5 box we are getting one void in this case. So the ratio is 1:5. Out of 5 box we are getting one void, and Alice wants to increase this ratio as it wants more uncovered squares or more voids. So this ratio should be high according to Alice, but Bob wants to decrease this. So we have to consider both the cases, but currently we are looking for Alice only. Okay, here 2 places have been left by Alice, and then Bob is just following him. So in this case, what happened that when it ends up to 2022, when this pattern ends at 2022, then there are set of consecutive squares remaining. So in spite, either it is Bob's chance or Alice's chance, they have to fill this box. So in this case, there will be no voids. If this is the pattern, there will be no voids. In this case, if 3 voids are left, then A1, B1, B1, A2, A2, B2, B2, like this. Then again, when after 2022 boxes, when it will come back, then Alice or Bob, whoever is going to fill this, they can fill at max 2 of them, and 1 will be void. So corresponding to each 3 voids that are left, only 2 voids can be filled, so we are getting 1 void. Here the ratio is 1:7. Like you can see, if 2 and 3 is filled, then out of 7, 1 is only 1 void we are getting. So 1:7 is the ratio. And before the ratio was 1:5. So 1:5 is better ratio if we are looking in from point of view of Alice. Okay, now leaving 4 voids. Here 4 voids are left. Again 4 voids are left. And when we will come back after filling up 2022 rows, then let's say if it is Alice's turn, then Alice will fill 2 and 3, because in that case 1 and 4 will be void. If Alice will fill 1, 2, then 3, 4 will be filled by someone, either Alice or Bob. If Alice filled 3, 4, then it is compulsory for Alice or Bob to fill 1 and 2. So Alice will fill 2 and 3. But Bob will fill 11, 12 in this case. So as Bob have filled this 11, 12, then 9, 10 will be filled at any moment of time. So we can see out of 16, only 1 and 4, 2 voids can be generated. So the ratio is 1:8 in this case. This is also not good. We have already got 1:5. So we're looking for better ratio. Leaving 5 voids in the beginning. Let's see here what happened. Here we will get 1 void in 9 boxes. Okay, how? A1, A1, B1, B1. 5. Okay, yes. If there are 5 voids left, then either Alice plays first or Bob plays first. In both the cases, we will get only 1 void left at last. Here we can see if Alice plays first, then let's say 2 and 3 is occupied by it, then 4, 5 will be occupied by Bob. If Alice have occupied 3 and 4, then 1 and 2 will be occupied by Bob. So similarly, if Bob will start, then it will occupy 1 and 2, so leaving for him. So in both the cases, only 1 void will be generated. So in first 9, we are getting only 1 void, so 1:9. This ratio is not good. Leaving 6 voids in the beginning. 6 void. This case is same as the first case, where we are leaving 1 void in the beginning. We can see here that as we are leaving 6 cases, 6 voids here. So 7, 8, 9, 10 is filled. Okay. Then at end moment of time, if Alice's turn is there, then it will fill 2, 3. Then and we will form 4, 5 or 5, 6. So what is inferred from here, that this set of 5 is filled by A and B, irrespective of whether A plays first or B plays first. And this is case where we have left 1 void. There also A1, B1, 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 then A2, A2, B2, B2. Also you can, here we have assumed that B will follow the A. That is, Bob will follow the A's tiles. So both cases are coming same. So the case where 6 voids are left is similar to the case where 7 voids are left. Leaving 7 voids in the beginning. Okay, this case can be seen as the combination of the first and second case. Here you can see that leaving this first 5 and then leaving 2 voids. So first 5 is what? Leaving 1 void, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3 is filled, 4, 5 is filled. You can see here. 2, 3 is filled, 4, 5 is filled. When only 1 void is left. Here also 2, 3, 4, 5 will be filled at any end moment of time when we will come back from 2022. and 6 7 is left. 6 7 is left. This is the case number 2, leaving two voids in the beginning. So this is sum of 2. In this case, as this is sum of 2, so we are getting sum of different ratios, and as we've seen till now that leaving one void is giving us the better ratio, best ratio. No others are giving ratio 1:5 or lesser than that. So if we are adding two cases, then 1:5 plus 1:7 or 1:8, so that will be lesser number. If 1:5 ratio is intact, like also in the first 5 cases, the highest ratio was of the first case, and that is 1:5. So required strategy is to leave one void in the beginning. So what I'm trying to say is, if we are leaving one void in the beginning, so we are getting ratio 1:5. And if in the second turn we are changing the strategy, then we are going for lower ratios. So we have to remain intact for the same strategy, same and the best strategy. So we have to leave one void every time. But this is not our answer, as we have fixed the Bob's strategy. Here the Bob's strategy is fixed. So this is just a feeling that what type of answer should come. So now let us fix the Alice strategy. From previous observations, we are fixing Alice strategy to leave one void in the beginning. Okay. Now Bob will think of the best strategy for him. This strategy also not fixed actually, but we are assuming this, leave one void in the beginning. Okay. Now Bob, from Bob's point of view also we have to think. So here, leaving no void after Alice tiles. When that is the case, we have already seen. This is what the ratio is 1:5. Bob wants to decrease this ratio. Okay. Leaving one void after Alice tiles. After Alice tile, if it is leaving one void, then it is actually creating more number of voids. So the ratio is 1:3. So this is not favorable in point of view of Bob. Leaving two voids after Alice tiles. Here we can see that as we leave this 4 5, this will be filled up by Alice or Bob at any moment of time. And here we have occupied 7 boxes and we are giving only one void. We are thinking in terms of Bob now. So this is more favorable. This is favorable. Ratio is 1:7. The ratio is decreased from 1:5. Let's see more cases. Leaving 3 voids after Alice tiles. Here A1 and then 3 word void. Ignore this bold A for now. Then B1, then A2, then B2. Okay. When they will come back and start filling this, then either A or B, they will leave one. They will leave one void. So here we can see that out of 8 boxes, 2 boxes are void. So 2:8 or 1:4, you can say the ratio is not good. We have achieved 1:7. We need lesser than that. So this is not good. Leaving 4 voids after Alice tiles. A1, then leaving 4 tiles. B1. Then A2. Then after 4 tiles, the 17 and 18 will be B2. Okay. So what we can see here, that when we will come back, then if it is Alice turns, let us assume this is Alice turn. So it will occupy this 4, 5, 6. So that they will create 2 voids here. But at the next turn, the Bob will occupy this 13 and 14. So that there will be compulsory to fill this 15 and 16. So we can see here, out of 18 you can say, because 16, 17, 18 is also filled as B2 and B2. So out of 18 we are getting 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 voids only. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 voids only. And these will be filled by either Alice or Bob. So 4 is to 18 or 2 is to 9. 2 is to 9 is still not a good ratio. Is still higher than 1 is to 7. We need lesser ratio than 1 is to 7. Leaving 5 voids after list styles. A1, A1, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B1, B1, 1, A2, A2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B2, B2. Okay. So here when we will return, then either A starts or B starts, the 5 voids will be filled up in such a way that 1 void will remaining. So here we can say that out of 10 we are getting 2 voids, so 1 is to 5. Again, it is not better ratio than 1 is to 7. We have got 1 is to 7. So A1, A1, then leaving 6 voids. B1, B1, again 6 voids. B2, B2. In this scenario, if Alice fills up the left 6 voids, okay, then he can create 2 voids. Okay, if after coming back from 2022, if it is Alice turns, then he can 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have these voids 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he will fill 5 and 6. So that 7, 8, 9, only 3 voids will be remaining this side. So either Alice turn or Bob turn, he have to fill up this 2 or this 7, 8 or 8, 9. So 2 voids will be generated from this. But as Alice have placed this 5 and 6, Bob will place here, Bob will place 17 and 18. So that creating 2 sets of consecutive squares, such that this will be compulsory for Alice or Bob to fill this. So out of 22 we are getting 1 void here, 2, 3 and 1 void here, 4. 4 is to 22 or 2 is to 11. Again, this is also not better ratio than 1 is to 7, or you can say lesser ratio. This is higher than 1 is to 7. Leaving 7 voids after release tiles. 7 voids. In this scenario, 7 voids will be filled up by Alice and Bob to produce 1 void. Yes, again, as we can see, no void case. No, sorry. Leaving 2 voids case. As A1 has left 1 void, then B have left 2 voids. But this will be compulsorily filled by someone, either Alice or Bob. So out of 7 we are getting only 1 void. So but here we can also see that if Bob have played first, then he have filled 4 and 5. Then A should have filled, Alice should have filled 1 and 2 or 2 and 3. So that 1 void will be created, and then 6, 7 will be filled by either Alice or Bob at any moment of time. So that's what I have written here. In this scenario, 7 voids will be filled up by Alice and Bob to produce 1 void, no matter who starts first. So here 1 void, and then 2, 3 is occupied. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These 7 are voids, out of which only 1 void will be produced. So 1, 2, and then 11, 12. So out of 12 we are getting 2 voids. So 1 is to 6. It is still higher than 1 is to 7. Now again, leaving 8 voids after Alice tiles case is same as leaving 1 void after Alice tiles. This you can see that, like we have seen here, leaving 6 voids is same as leaving 5 voids plus leaving 1 void case. So here also leaving 8 voids after Alice tiles case is same as leaving 1 void after Alice tiles. Similarly, all further cases can be realized as collection of the 7 cases. Why 7? Because in previous case, you can see here, sorry, again, sorry. Here it is forming a packet of 5. Packet of 5 is getting formed. Packet of 5. So when it have left more than 5 voids, then it is just a repetition of the case. Similarly, here what is happening, that when A is leaving 1 void, then B is leaving 2 voids. So it is forming a packet of 7. So when we are getting a 7 void, then it will be filled by A and B in the same fashion. It will create 1 void. So it is in a period of 7. It is in a period of 7. That's why leaving 8 voids after LE style case is same as leaving 1 void after LE styles. Because these 7 will be filled up in the same fashion. And leaving 1 more void is similar to the case when we are leaving 1 void after LE styles. So, and all further cases, leaving 9 voids, 10 voids, can be realized as a collection of the 7 cases. As we have seen in the previous case, leaving 7 void in the beginning is leaving 1 void plus leaving 2 voids. Leaving 1 void in the beginning and then leaving 2 voids in the beginning. So this is some of the ratios. Again, in these 7, we have seen that leaving 2 voids after a lifestyle is the best ratio, 1:7. So, and others are lesser than 1:7. No one is similar, no one is equal to 1:7 also. So we will do we will replicate this pattern only. So best case for LE for Bob is leave 2 voids after LE styles, and best case for LE till now, what we know, is leave 1 void in the beginning. Okay. The lowest ratio is for the case where 2 voids are left after LI styles. Yes, 1:7. So now we are reconfirming whether the present pattern is the best suitable. Why we are reconfirming? Because in Ellie's case, we have taken the Bob's strategy as fixed. So we can't say this with too much of conformity in this, with this much research. So by now, Bob's strategy is fixed and confirmed because Alice is creating its maximum possible void in every move. Here, Bob's strategy is fixed. That is, Bob will leave 2 voids after Alice styles, because this is not, Alice's strategy is not 100% rigid. Alice's strategy is creating its maximum possible void. That is 1. Maximum possible void in every move. What is the maximum possible void Alice can create in 1 move? Is 1, and it is creating that. So, but for Alice's strategy, we have assumed Bob's strategy to be fixed. Thus, we need to reconfirm the Alice strategy. Now, what is fixed? Now, Bob's strategy is fixed. That Bob will leave 2 voids after Alice styles. That will be compulsorily filled by someone. So, now, leaving 1 void in the beginning, this is for Alice. Ratio is 1:7. You can see here 1 is left, then 2 is left by Bob. Then again 1 is left by Alice, 2 is left by Bob. So in 7 we are getting 1 void. Leaving 2 voids in the beginning. 2, then A2, A1, then 2. So no voids will be created, because when we will come back from 2022, then Alice will fill this or Bob will fill this, so no voids will be created. Leaving 3 voids in the beginning. So here we can see that this 6, 7 will be filled up, and out of 1, 2, 3, either 1, 2 or 2, 3 will be filled, so 1 void will be generated. Out of 9 we are generating 1 void, so 1:9 is the ratio. That is 1:9 is lesser than 1:7. But now we are thinking in point of view of Alice. Actually, the main question is to for with respect to Alice, we have to think that what's the maximum number of uncovered square that we can realize no matter how Bob's plays. No matter how Bob plays means we have to assume Bob as a very smart person. We have to assume Bob is a very smart person, and we have to find the minimum number of uncovered square that we can guarantee. So for that we need more and more ratio. So 1:7 is the highest ratio till now. Now here leaving 4 voids in the beginning, leaving 4 voids, A1, then leaving 2 voids, B1, then 4 voids, A2, then B2. So when we'll come back, then let's say it is Alice chance, so it will fit 2 3 and generated 2 voids here. But in the next turn, B will fill up this 11 12, so that 13 14 will be filled by either Alice or Bob at any moment of time. So now what we can see that A2 and then then again B2. Okay, so here from with 20, in 20 you can see we are generating only 2 voids. Only 2 voids are generated. Why? Because firstly we have left 4, then A1, then as B's have left 2 voids which will be filled in future, and B again we have left 4 voids, but that will be filled by B when Alice is filling this. So out of 20 we are getting only 2 voids, so ratio is 1:10. Leaving 5 voids, A1, then B1. So 8 and 9 will be filled up, and out of 5, if A occupies 2 3, then B will occupy 4 5. If A occupy 3 4, then B will occupy 1 2. So only one void can be generated out of 5. So you can say out of 11 we are generating only 1. So 1:11. Again, not a these all ratio are lesser than 1:7. Leaving 6 voids in the beginning, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Again A1, then B1 will be after 2 voids, then again 6 voids, A2. So here also the same case as leaving 4 voids. If Alice's turn is there, he will occupy 2 and 3, so that he forces Bob to fill 2 of the 3 voids. But Bob is smart, so he will not indulge here. Bob will go and fill this 15 and 16, so that 13 and 14 and 17 and 18, 2 sets of consecutive squares are formed, so that he is forcing Alice to fill this set of squares, consecutive squares. So again here ratio is 1:10, that is very less than 1:7. Leaving 7 voids in the beginning, A1, then 2 voids, B1, then 7 voids, then here will be A2. Okay, so here again when this 10 and 11 will be filled up, out of 7 again, if Alice turn is there, 2 and 3 will be filled up, then Bob will fill 4 and 5, then someone must fill 6 and 7. If it is Bob turn, then Bob will fill 1 and 2, then Alice will leave 3 4 and 5, or leave 7 5 and 6. If Alice left say 7 and fills 5 and 6, then Bob will fill 3 and 4. If Alice left 3 and filled 4 and 5, then Bob will fill 6 and 7. In this way, out of 13 we are getting only 1 void. So this is also a very bad ratio, 1:13. The minimum ratio is coming for the case leaving 1 void in the beginning. We have confirmed. Thus the required scenario is leaving 1 void, A1, then leaving 2 void, B1, leaving 1 void, A2, leaving 2 void, B2, and so on. Out of 7 boxes we can create 1 void. Okay, now the main question is regarding 2022. So 2022 is 288 times 7 plus 6. So 288 voids can be generated. This is clear from here. that 7 times 288 is there. So, and from 7 boxes we are getting 1 void, so we are getting 288 voids sure. And now we are getting 6 remaining boxes. Now out of 6 boxes, how many voids can be created if it was Alice turns? Actually 288 times, that is after every 7 box there is Alice turn. You can see from here, first Alice is placing this 2 and 3, then Bob is 6 and 7, then Alice is placing 9 and 10, then Bob is placing 13 and 14. So when, and these all are void till now, and no one is going to fill this until and unless they are going to fill this six box. They are going to fill first these 6 box, and then they will come back and fill up all these remaining voids, set of consecutive squares. So when there are 6, let us assume 1 to 6, this case, from 1 to 6, only see from 1 to 6. So as shown below, no, it is not shown. Alice will cover the second and third tiles. Okay, Alice have covered second and third tiles. Then Bob is forced to fill either 4 and 5 or 5 and 6. Means if it is Alice turn, then Alice will create 1 void at least for him, and then Bob is forced to fill 2 out of 3 voids. That is, from 6 boxes we are generating 2 voids, 2 extra voids. So we have generated 288 voids, and then from 6 boxes we are generating 2 voids. So total of 290 voids we can generate from this 222. So the answer is 290. Yes, I will explain in next video what happens if Bob plays first, and what happens if instead of 2 tiles, packet of 3 tiles are needed to be kept. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe this video for more such awesome content.